So it's time to give you my top 10 moments of Game of Thrones Season 4. And for this season, it was a difficult one to get it down to 10, even down to like the top 5, and to see what the top spot on my list is because there were so many sweet and really crazy moments for this season. This might be my favorite season of Game of Thrones, either 4 or 6. I'm not quite sure. But 4, I think, is really, really good. So let's get into it. Let's get to the top 10. So starting off at number 10, we have the White Walkers. They take the child of Craster and and it becomes one of them. I don't really know how to condense into one short sentence. But yeah, so the White Walkers take one of the children of Craster, the guy who lives beyond the wall, the guy who has just a bunch of daughters and stuff. But yeah, but it's just all kind of disgusting. But of course, they take the children out there, at least the boys, of course, and they give them to the White Walkers. And here at this moment, we see, of course, the White Walker with the baby, and he takes them to other White Walkers, of course. And it's a cool moment because we get to see more White Walkers at this moment, and it's kind of the first moment we see that, yeah, we see their power because the White Walker, just by a single touch, makes the baby one of them, and the baby becomes, yeah, a White Walker, I guess. So yeah, so it's a cool moment to see what they want the babies for, and that's what we got. So yeah, so that's cool. But that's number 10. So let's go to number 9. At number 9, Littlefinger kills Lysa Arryn. And yeah, this is oh man, there's a moment that shows you the scum of Littlefinger. But of course, she went into a jealous rage because she thought Sansa and Littlefinger were hooking up. And I think it was just Littlefinger that kind of wanted Sansa. Sansa didn't want any part of Littlefinger. But I mean, Lysa just got angry, and of course, I mean, Littlefinger he called her down, and then he tossed her out the moon door. And I mean, Lysa was showcasing the moon door a lot. Yeah, when we seen her in Game of Thrones, and then she finally got just thrown out of there. And yeah, it's almost a good thing because she was getting crazy. She might have killed Sansa. And so yeah, Littlefinger's scum, but he might have done the right thing. At number 8 is Arya's revenge kill. So Arya and the Hound, of course, go to this little pub. I think it's a pub or something like that. But of course, the Lannister men are there, and the Lannister soldiers, and of course, one of them is one of the Lannister soldiers that actually took Arya and Gendry and Hot Pie to that place. I forgot what it's called, but yeah. But at the moment when they actually caught him at first, that Lannister soldier, of course, killed one of Arya's friends there. That, of course, by sticking the sword through his throat. So Arya, when she got the chance, got the revenge and did the same exact kill on this guy. And I think it's one of the first Arya kills that just is pretty sweet because he really deserved it. And the whole scene, I think, it was funny and it was cool. And seeing the Hound, of course, just order him to buy him the chickens, of course, every fucking chicken, buy me every fucking chicken you have. And that's a funny and cool moment. There's a lot of good moments between the Hound and Arya, and I think it's the best. I think for the Arya storyline throughout the series, I think I just like this dynamic the best of her and the Hound together, and them trekking throughout Westeros. So yeah, I liked it. So yeah, and this is I think probably one of the better moments of that little storyline. So yeah, I like it, and it's just it's a sweet kill from Arya. Thank you, Arya. Let's go to number 7, and at number 7, Jorah is exposed. So before Jorah was friend-zoned by Daenerys, he was actually spying on her on behalf of the Lannisters because he was caught selling slaves. But of course, he was pardoned, of course, by when he was spying on her. And when the pardon came in, of course, that's when Jorah got exposed, and Daenerys said, yeah, you can fuck off because I don't want you at all next to me because you gave me advice and you are untrustworthy. And man, Jorah he just loves Daenerys so much that this just hurt his soul. I mean, wow. So yeah, but it is something. It's a flaw in I think a character like Jorah. Jorah is a cool character, I think. Jordan's like, he's nice. He's just cool. I think he's got like morals, of course. But this is the one flaw, of course, because he's spying on her. But it was to benefit himself, of course, from getting pardoned. And of course, yeah, kind of fell in love on the way. And then got friend zoned. And then got like friend, I don't know what, like got friend exited or something like that. But yeah, Daenerys went kind of easy on him though, of course, and we'd see Jorah return later. But yeah, but this is the moment where you're kind of heartbroken for him, and it's like, I mean, but he almost kind of deserved it because yeah, he spied on her. So yeah, so that's at number 7. At number 6, we got Brienne versus the Hound. So this is the conclusion of the Hound Arya storyline in like the last episode, I think. I think it was the last episode of season 4. But yeah, but we see, of course, Brienne want to take Arya away from him because she wants to return Arya, of course, to Winterfell, which they're going there anyways. But Arya, like Brienne, just thought the Hound was kind of up to no good, and she promised Catelyn that she would get her daughters to safety. But we see this confrontation come about, and the Hound and Brienne, I think it is a underrated fight in Game of Thrones, but it's almost kind of like the choreography is almost kind of off in this one, but I think that's a good thing because these two like characters are kind of um they're just brutal fighters, I think, and this is a brutal fight. I mean, we see the Hound just fall off the cliff and stuff, and that's the moment where like after that moment we think he's actually probably gonna die because he has that like a little like conversation with Arya where he's gonna just like where he's saying like kill me and kill me all over. So yeah, but I mean it's kind of hard to watch because you think he might die. Of course he doesn't because he returns the next season. Spoilers. I shouldn't go too far in case you haven't watched. But yeah, it's a cool fight, I guess. But we'll see. I don't know. Siren's going off, I guess. So yeah, but let's go number 5. So at number 5 we have Tyrion killing Shae and Tywin. And oh boy, this moment was like a holy shit moment. I shouldn't be cursing, but it is. I mean, yeah, this is like, of course, this is after he was sentenced to death by Tywin because going after like the battle between Oberyn and the Mountain. But I mean, yeah, of course, Jaime lets him out, of course, to escape, but he doesn't escape right away. Of course, he goes to kill Tywin, but instead he finds Shae in his bed, and then that heartbreaking moment where he actually choked Shae to death, which was, yeah, that was heartbreaking because he didn't want to do it. But I mean, she went behind his back during that trial and lied, of course, and then I was like just a brutal death. And then he finds Tywin taking a shit or something like that in the toilet, in the can. And of course they have the confrontation where he's saying, I'm like, you're all like, you're my son, but he really doesn't mean it. Of course he's trying to get out of there. And then Tywin puts 2 arrows into him, and it's just like, yeah, that's crazy. A crazy end to season 4. And I mean, it was a crazy season, but this is just like, okay, that was like, for Tyrion, it is just a crazy season for him. And I thought it was just like a crazy end, and killing Shae, the one who he like the probably person he's loved the most early on in Game of Thrones, and of course then his father. That is just a crazy a crazy like sequence of events. So yeah, so let's go to number 4. Number 4 is Watchers on the Wall. And I'm just going to pick this one as a full moment because there are moments in here I like. I like the Sam takes like, I mean, he takes like, he gets into the battle, of course. And like, yeah, he does pretty well in it. But I think the moment that really captures me the most is when Ygritte and Jon reunite for just that one moment. And then Ygritte gets the arrow into her heart. And that's kind of heartbreaking because I think Ygritte, like, she's always focused, of course, but she found the one. I mean, she loved Jon, and when she saw him, she was like, she became focused on him and not on the battle. And that's when, yeah, that was hard. That was like hard to see. And Jon, you know, he really cares about her, of course. And yeah, heartbreaking death, of course, being for Ygritte because, yeah, I don't think, I guess I kind of I expected it, but it got me because damn, that was like a heartbreaking moment, of course. But I mean, the whole Watchers the Wall was just a cool battle, and I think the whole episode was basically the battle, and I just really enjoyed it. And there's some sacrifices, of course, that were made in this battle. I mean, I think it was Gren that sacrificed himself and died fighting that giant, trying to hold off the bottom of the wall. But that was cool. But whole Watchers of the Wall on the whole was great. Yeah, I thought it was cool. And at number 3 is the trial by combat. I mentioned Oberyn versus the Mountain. So Oberyn, of course, was like his main goal was probably trying to find the Mountain in this season because he wanted like revenge, and because of course the Mountain killed his sister and the kids. I mean, and just going on and on. I mean, he raped his sister. I should say that too, because he's going on, and he has the best of the Mountain in this. I mean, he basically beat him. He brought him down. He he actually did kill him, of course. I mean, his wounds eventually did kill him, but I mean, and the scene Oberyn go like, I mean, he becomes unfocused, as I mentioned, with like Ygritte did, and he was just like, he let his guard down, of course, and then the Mountain took him down, and the Mountain just, I mean, that's probably the most brutal moment in Game of Thrones. One of the most brutal moments is seeing the Mountain just like squash his head in, and just like, wow, the screams, of course. I mean, Oberyn in the show, credit to Pedro Pascal. I mean, he's like a charming dude. I mean, he's got so much confidence at that moment. He is in agony, and that is crazy. Then his wife is all yelling, and that is, oh man, that is brutal. That was a brutal kill from the Mountain. And Oberyn was such a cool character too. So yeah, it's hard to see him go like this, but it did. He went like this, and that sucked. So let's go to number 2. And at number 2, I have Tyrion's trial. So I'm going to just say the trial as a whole, because this is the moment where is probably the best moment for Tyrion in all of Game of Thrones. I just like to call it the Emmy moment, where he's saying like, I'm not guilty of like murdering the king. I'm guilty of being a dwarf. I probably messed that up. It's probably not the right thing he said, but it's basically what he said. In that moment, that speech, oh my goodness, that speech, and he's telling everyone in the crowd we're watching, I should have let Stannis kill you all, or I wish I had poison to kill you all. And it's just like, yeah, Peter Dinklage acted his ass off in this moment. It was a freaking cool moment. And I think for Tyrion overall in this season, I think it's his best season, like storyline wise, because yeah, he's accused of murdering King Joffrey, and yeah, and that trial was just brutal. I mean, Shay coming in and lying, as I mentioned earlier, is just brutal as well, because she's the one he's probably loved the most. And man, it was tight. It was tight. And I mean, it basically led to that trial by combat, of course, of like Oberyn in the Mountain. So yeah, so that was, yeah, this was like what led to that trial by combat. Of course, what led to the trial is number 1 on the list, and number 1 is Joffrey's death, of course. There was no other thing I could put ahead of Joffrey's death, because this is probably the moment where we see like what people cheered for. I mean, there were so many heartbreaking moments early on in the first 3 seasons. I mean, we saw the Lannisters just kept on winning. I mean, Ned, of course, being executed. We saw the Lannisters beat Stannis, of course, in the Battle of Blackwater. And we saw like the Red Wedding. It was like so many heartbreaking moments over and over. And then finally, early on in the season, it was episode 2, we see Joffrey die at his own wedding by being poisoned. And I won't say who got poisoned by in case you haven't watched later on. But yeah, but it is it's one of the moments where it's like, okay, we gotta win. The Lannisters have a defeat, of course. They have been like, Joffrey's dead. But of course, what comes after that is what I guess Tyrion kind of has to pay for, of course, because Tyrion goes to trial and all that yada yada. I mentioned it already in the other moments, but I just want to mention this moment because this is the moment where people cheered about, and I think it's probably the moment where we thought, okay, maybe we can hang on Game of Thrones now. Maybe it's not all sour. Maybe the moments aren't going to be like dreadful, like the Red Wedding or Ned's death. This is one of the moments that, okay, we deserve it. We needed this, and we got it very early on in the season. And of course, the actor who played Joffrey, I think, was really good in the first three and like the first two episodes of season 4. So yeah, but the first 3 seasons, he was so good. I mean, he was menacing. He was like an asshole. But the actor who played him, I think, I forgot his name. I think it was, Jack Gleason, I think was his name. But he put him so well in that moment. It was kind of well, it's kind of not heartbreaking, but it was like to see it through his eyes almost. It's kind of like, oh man, I don't know. It's just like you're cheering it on, but it's almost kind of heartbreaking seeing his like mother there too, Cersei, which you kind of both hate the characters, but it's still kind of heartbreaking and see a mother like have to go to her like see her son die like that. But we'll see. But yeah, those are my top 10 moments of Game of Thrones season 4. As I said, it was such a good season of Game of Thrones. I actually love this season, and it might be my favorite, as I mentioned. So yeah, so tell me down below, what is your favorite moment of Game of Thrones season 4? Is it as good as I say it is this season? So yeah, tell me down below in the comments section. Check out my other Game of Thrones top moments if you have not yet. And also check out my channel for more Game of Thrones talk in the future. I will review every episode of season 8, all 6 of them. And probably I'll do a preview video too, giving my predictions on who may sit on the throne at the end of season 8. So until next time, I'll see you folks later. And I am out.